Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Welcome back to Qur'anic Arabic Grammar. And in our last session, we did Ismul Fa'il, Ismul Maf'ul, Ismul Ishara, and pronouns. So he divided the word into three types. Obviously, the three parts of speech is ism, fi'l, and harf. And this is what we've started with the first lesson, inshallah. Today we will do fi'l, the verbs. I mean, he'll keep introducing stuff like this, inshallah. Al-fi'lu, verb. He gives some verbs here. Try to memorize them as much as possible, at least the meaning. So aqala means he understood. Aqala, he understood. And then present is yaqilu, he understand. Yaqilu, he understands with a ya in the starting. And this is the pattern, ya, yaf'ilu. And aql is in intelligence. Aqil is ismul fa'il, which you saw just now. No? Go back to the previous lesson where the doer noun. Aqil, the intelligent one. Aqil is amr, understand. This should not have a hamza here, it's a mistake. Aqil. And then la taqil, don't understand. So akhala is the verb. Even if you don't understand all of these, at least you should memorize these two. Akhala yaqilu. So if anyone says akhala, you should know it is yaqilu. And ba'atha yab'athu. That's the combination. To send. Ba'atha yab'athu. Ba'athan to send. Ba'ith, the sender. Ib'ath, la tab'ath, don't send. Ba'uda, to be far away. Ba'uda yab'udu. Ba'uda yab'udu, to be far away. Bu'ud, ba'id, the one who is far. Ubu'ud la tab'ud. Dhakara, to remember. Yadhkuru, he remembers. Dhakara yadhkuru. The only problem here is this letter. The kaf, if you notice, the kaf middle letter, it has a fatha, it changes into dhamma. So there are combinations. The middle letter can change fatha to fatha, fatha to kasra. Where is fatha to kasra? See, qaf here, fatha to kasra. So that's how it is. Dhakara yadhkuru, fatha to dhamma, no? Dhikra, to remember. Dhakir, the one who remembers. Udhkur is remember. And la tadhkur, don't remember. And dhahaba, he goes. Don't worry, he'll go into a lot of detail into all of this. He's just giving some examples like this. Like he just wants us to understand the main goals. So dhahaba, yadhabu, he goes. Dhahaban, to go. Dhahib, the overall picture, the one who goes. Idhab, go. La tadhab, don't go. Fasaqa is to rebel or transgress. Fasaqa is yafsuqu, fusuqat, fasiq. Ufsuq, la tafsuq. Ghafara, yaghfiru, to forgive. Ghafran or ghafir is the one. Allah is the ghafir, the one who forgives. Ighfir, لا تغفر, forgive, don't forgive. غلب يغلب, overpower. غلبا غالب, اغلب لا تغلب. So try to memorize just this. So akhala, if you say akhala, the meaning you should remember. Ba'atha, ba'uda, like that, the meaning. Try, just you increase your vocabulary like this, because it will be helpful later on. So akhala, you should know the present also. Akhala is yaqilu. And then ba'atha yab'athu, ba'uda yab'udu, dhakara yadhkuru. So if anybody says yadhkaru or yadhkiru, it's a mistake. All right, you'll know if you get used to like this. Yadhkuru, he remembers or he mentions. Dhahaba yadhabu, it has fatha to fatha, the middle letter. So dhahaba yadhibu, it'll be bad. Yadhubu, it's wrong. It's yadhabu. Fasaqa yafsuqu, to rebel, transgress. Ghafara yaghfiru. Ghalaba yaghlibu. Even if you don't want to memorize, at least memorize maybe dhakara is very common, dhahaba is very common, ghafara. Yeah, these three are, very common. Okay. So he says, definition, a word that represents an action or state of being in any tenses, past, present, and future. Although there's no future as such, you use seen and all that in Arabic, but yeah, that's verb. It has, action as well as tense. A verb should have a tense. Like if you take dhahaba, for example, this is Maadi, this is Mudara, this is a noun. This is a noun, which is the source word. It's called masdar. It means the act of going. This is also a noun. This is idhab, that means future. You go. La tadhab, don't go. This is also future. That means you're giving a command or prohibition. So these are the fi'il, af'al. Okay, let's go into conjugations. Conjugation of past, present, and future tense. Tasrifu fi'il al-madi wal-mudara. The conjugation, it'll take some time. So what you should do is try to pause the video and try to note it down. But inshallah, if you just memorize this once, it'll be easy. Even if you don't memorize, try to understand what's happening. Right? So fa'ala means he did. So let's focus on the madi first, and this side first, and then we'll go into the present tense. So fa'ala is he did. So how do you know he? There's a huwa which is hidden here. Something, a verb is hidden. Fa'ala, he did. So you can take any verb like dhahaba, he went. Dhakara, he remembered. Now, how do you say both of them did? They add an alif. This alif is called alif of dual. So you see you add an alif like dhahaba, he went. How do you say they both went? Dhahaba, they both went. And how do you say they all went? You add a vav. This alif is just for, ease, like to separate the verb, because they might think this vav is and, but this vav is they. This vav means they. This alif is they both. That's why you say they both went. Fa'alu, they all did. Fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu. So take three at a time, write it down, and give some examples. Like you can take any verb. Ba'atha, he sent. So both of them sent will be what? Ba'atha. And all of them sent ba'athu. Right? You see a wow. Khalas. Ba'atha, ba'atha, ba'athu. And these are for, you're talking about them. They are third person. Third person in the sense they're not in front of us. Like they went, he went, she went. Like that. And it's masculine. Mudhakkar. Then you have mu'annath. Ghaib mu'annath. That means fa'alat. Fa'alat, she did. Fa'alat is she did. Fa'alat. So you add a ta to it, she did. And she is also hidden. So fa'ala and fa'alat, the huwa and hiya are hidden. Hidden. And then you add an alif, fa'alata, they both feminine did. Fa'alata. And then fa'alna, they all did. They all did. Right. Many people get stuck in the female stuff because it's a little confusing. If you don't do female stuff, also focus on the male ones, because females, in the Quran and others, it's very little or very less. But yeah, because fa'alna is the most confusing for all of them. Like fa'alna, because we come down, fa'alna is also there. We did also. So they get confused here. Don't worry. Take it slowly, inshallah. Focus on the males first. Fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu. And then fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna. Fa'alat, fa'alna. Because when you understand the Quran and all that, it keeps coming, all of these things, inshallah. And you should try to recognize it. How do you recognize it? Fa, fatha, ain, fatha, and lam, fatha. So all of the three letters will have fatha, 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 or the middle letter will have a kasra. It could be fa'ila or fa'ula. Those are the only three combinations. Fa'ala, that means fa means first root letter is called fa kalima, ain kalima, lam kalima. That's the way of calling it. So fa'ala, first root radical or root letter is called fa'ala. It could be fa'ala or fa'ila or fa'ula. And it could be dhamma or kasra. Don't worry about it. But yeah, fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, and then fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna. Duals, again, we added an alif. And for feminine plural, we'll add a noon. This is called noon of the women. So waw al-jama'a, the waw for the males, and the noon for the females. Then if you've done pronouns properly, it's the same thing. Anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. The ta is added. Anta's ta. Anta means you male, no? Anta, you did. So fa'alta, you did. Fa'altuma, you both did. Fa'altum, you all did. And duals also, if you want to skip, you can skip, because duals are also very rare. So if you just memorize, if you can memorize only 4 or 5, like he did, they all did, you all did, and then feminine you can skip, I did, we did, if you want to start out, right? But you try to write it down, it becomes easier. It's just information which you need to digest. Fa'alta, you did. Fa'altuma, you both did. Fa'altum, you all did. And then fa'alti, you female did. Fa'altuma, you both did. And this is fa'altunna, you all did. Female, tunna, anta, antum, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. Same thing, no? So you can take any verb, like you went will be what? Dhahabta. You all went, sahabtum, dhahabti, dhahabtunna. And I went will be dhahabtu or fa'altu, I did. Fa'altu, tu, you add a tu. So ana is tu. Yeah, the ending is tu. And fa'alna is the noon alif, if you notice here. Noon alif, fa'alna. There it was only noon. It was only, here it is fa'alna, we did. Okay, so fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'altuma, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna, fa'altu, I did is fa'altu, and we did is fa'alna. Then let's come to present tense. Present tense, you add a ya, ta, hamza, noon. So if you notice here, it's ya in the starting, ta in the starting, and these are all second person always ta. Here, even females is ta, except this one. And then hamza and noon. Hamza and noon only one each. So most of them will have a ya or a ta at the end. At the starting, and there's 7 with starting with ta, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4 with ya. Okay, so yaf'alu. So how do you make it? You'll take the root letters. First we'll get a sukun. The middle letter could be anything. It could be fatha, kasra, dhamma. It depends on the combination. Last one will have a dhamma. Here, notice last one has a fatha. Fatha, fa'alu, okay, dhamma here because of vav. But generally, lam has a fatha, fa'alata, and now from here, everything it'll have a sukun. Fa'alta, fa'altuma. The lam has a sukun here. Here, the lam will have dhamma, or if it's joining something, it become a fatha. So yaf'alu, he does, he's doing, he will do. Yaf'alani, they both are doing. Here we added an alif, here we'll add a noon also. Why we'll add that? Because it's like, it's like tanween, like for noun. Because mudare means it's like similar to a noun. So this noon will drop sometimes when lan comes or something comes before it. Okay, that is case ending. Anyways, yaf'alu, yaf'alani. He does, they both do. Yaf'aluna, they all are doing. They all are doing. So yaf'alu and yaf'aluna are important. Wow, noon. Here only wow was added. Here, wow and noon are added. And taf'alu is she does. You add a ta in the starting. And taf'alani, they both do. And then ya comes back. Yaf'alna, they all are doing. Actually, this should have also been ya, but it would have been a problem because it would be similar to this now. So they'll leave it like that. So yafalu, yafalani, tafalu, yafaluna, tafalu, tafalani, yafalna. If you want to remember the first one, yaf, taf, yaf. Right. Like that. But anyways, and now this is similar to tafalu, she does, as well as you do is the same. Tafalu. So remember, second person always starting is ta. And ta. Taf'alu, taf'alani, taf'aluna. You do, you both do, you all do. And then taf'alina, you add ina. You are doing. Taf'alina, and then taf'alani, you both do. And taf'alna, you all do. You all do, taf'alna. Okay? Yafalu, yafalani, yafaluna, tafalu, tafalani, yafalna, tafalu, tafalani, tafaluna, tafalina. You are doing like Ya Zainab, Anti Tafalin. You are doing Tafalani and then Tafalna. You have a Ta as well as Noon. Like here you had Yaf, Ya and Noon, Tafalna. And then Afalu is the common. Afalu, Nafalu. So start, if you want to memorize, start with he does, she does, you do, and then I do, we do. Start with these easy ones. Yafalu, Tafalu, Tafalu, Afalu, Nafalu. Like he does is Yafalu, Tafalu, she does. And then you do is also tafalu, then afalu, nafalu. Then you can add plurals. Duals you can leave if you want. Yafaluna, they all do. Like you can come here. Dhahaba, you can see the mudari, yadhabu, he goes. So you can conjugate it like this. Yadhabu, yadhabuna, or yadhabani, tadhabu, tadhabani, yadhabna, tadhabu, tadhabani, tadhabuna, tadhabina, tadhabani, tadhabna, tadhabu. Remember, these all take a long time for you to understand. Don't worry if you don't understand all of this. Just information, because these books are short. Madina books, book 2 takes you almost, how many? It takes almost 15 lessons or something to explain each of them slowly, and practice slow. One is practice, right? So don't worry. Almost 10 lessons, I believe, five each. And whole Madina book 1 also includes Maadi. So it takes time. This is the whole thing, right? So this is all everything. So don't worry. Take one verb at a time. How do you say she does? Because the actual goal when you're doing this book is not to make sentences or not to speak. People say, I'm not able to make sentences. Yes, of course, we are not learning how to make sentences. We're focusing on input. Input is what? When we read the Quran, we want to understand. We'll start with that, inshallah. Many people want to focus on everything at once. You'll slow down so much. They want to focus on listening, speaking, reading, writing. Yes, that's good. That's engaging. Yes, fine. But you'll be slowed down a lot. You need to give 4 years or something maybe then. Right? So I would suggest people who are online and all that, focus on one thing. Focus on one skill at a time. Like focus on reading. Once you are, and start with the Quran. Don't start with anything else. Quran, if I read, am I able to understand 60 to 70% all the time? Yeah. So that should be the goal. Right? Especially self-study. People just want to take everything on the, all of these things. And it becomes very difficult. And they'll quit. I don't want to. Tasrifu fi'li amr. Now we have command. We'll take these letters itself and you'll add a hamza here. Like if'al means do. If'al, do. If'ala, you both do. You add an alif, no? If'alu, you all do. You do all. That is a command. And for girls, you'll say if'ali, like idhabi, go. If'ala, you both do. If'alna, you all do. And then la also you can say la tafal, don't do. Don't do this. La tafal. La tafala, you both don't do. La tafalu, you both don't. You all don't do. La tafali, don't do. Female. La tafala, same. And then la taf'alna, you all don't do. This is the whole story of verbs in 3-letter verbs, of any letter actually. This is all this. It is just 2 pages, right? It's just a information dump, but you understand, right? Because these books are not meant to spoon feed you. You need to pause the video, write down all of these things, memorize. It's a lot of your work. Other books, what they'll do, like Medina books, they'll be like, they'll take the whole burden. They'll explain one thing, give you exercises, practice, then he'll introduce one more thing. But here is nothing much like that. They'll just say, because we don't have time, right? That's why you're watching this. You want to watch, I don't want to do Medina books, which takes me 100 hours. I want to quickly learn in 20 hours maybe. So, yeah. So ifalu, it's just the way it is. And we'll learn later on how it was formed and all that. But this is the whole story. He's just introducing it. Don't worry about, perfecting it, because he has lessons later on also where he asks us to write and worksheet and all that. So don't worry, just an introduction. Try to focus on that. I'm keep saying this because many people might think, oh, it's too much. Like, don't worry. It is too much because these books shock you and then they ease it down. They give you everything and then they say, okay, don't focus on everything, take this. Al-harf particle. Ila is till. So a particle is which is neither noun, neither verb. It comes in between to join. Is a word which gives meaning when it combines with any noun or verb. So any verb, any word which is not a noun or a verb, not a ism or a fi'l, it is a harf. Now, no, there are many particles in Arabic language. 2 types of particles are harf jar and harf atf. Harf jar and harf atf. So you're learning particles also. There's prepositions which are called harf jar. And then there's harf atf conjugations. Sorry, not conjugations. Conjunctions. And try to memorize. He's given the list here. Ma'am, these are the list of all the prepositions and there are atf also. Conjunction. So there's a song which he writes. And the song is like this. Ba'u ta'u kafu lamu wa'u mundhu mudkhala rubba hasha min adafi an ala hatta ila. Right? Because the Sheikh, I know him personally, he has this. And just to memorize if you want. Ba'u ta'u. Ba'u is actually al-ba'u. That is the letter ba. Ba, ta, kaf, lam, wow, mundu, mudkhala, rubba. For kids and all, it's very fun. Rubba, hasha, min, adafi, an, ala, hatta, ila. But memorizing is not the point. Right? What's required is you need to memorize the meaning. Because when you see it, you should be able to understand. And not all of them are important, but there's 17 prepositions. And there's huruf atf also, he has a jingle kind of. It's like amma, imma, thumma, aw, hatta, Idhan wafa, idhan wafa, idhan wafa. So, amma, imma, thumma, aw, hatta, Amma is, we'll go into the meaning, but idhan wafa is like repetition for just tune or something. Idhan wafa, that's it. So, amma, imma, thumma, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. Oh, huruf atf. Conjunctions. Conjunctions. So what are the meanings? Will come. We read it below. Ba'u ta'u kafu lamu wa'u mundhu mudkhala rubba hasha min adafi an ala hatta ila. And this is amma, imma, thumma, aw hatta idhan wafa, idhan wafa, idhan wafa. All right. So prepositions. Ba. Ba is actually bi. Bi. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillah. Because once you understand all of these, everything opens up. You see them all over the place in the Quran. So particles are very interesting and very, in shortcut, you get a lot of meaning. I mean, at least be you understand. Maybe not anything else. So be is in or with. It could mean many things, but generally in and with. Ta is tallahi, very not that common. Tallahi lakidanna asnamakum. By Allah, I will plan against your idols. Ka is like. Ka. Like, this is not the ka which comes at the end of a noun, like baituka, your house. That ka means your. That's a pronoun. This ka comes like similar to. Laysa kamithlihi shay. Or mathalu nurihi ka mishkat. His light, his nur is like a mishkat. A lamp. Like or as. Kaf, ba'u, ta'u, kaf. And then lam is li. Belongs to. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Belongs to or for. Or to also it could be. Like this house is for me. هذا البيت لي. This wow is separate from the conjunction wow. This is like an oath by, and you get a kasra. So all of these words give kasra to the following word, by the way. That's why they call preposition. Ka, mishkatin. See, it was mishkatun. Because of these, it'll give preposition kasra. One kasra, two, it depends on al. Wal asri. So swearing. I swear by the time. I take an oath. منذ means since. ما رأيته منذ يوم الجمعة. Maybe he didn't find any example in the Quran, so he gave general statement. I did not see him since Jum'ah. Since. Mudh is also since. Ma ra'aytu mudh yawmil Jum'ah. I did not see him since Jum'ah. Khala ja'anil qawmu khala Zayd. The people came to me except Zayd. Khala is like illa Zayd. Rubba muballighin aw'a min sami'. And this is a hadith. Muballigh, the one who has been said this hadith, perhaps he'll understand it better from the listener. Like somebody listens this hadith and conveys it to someone else. So he might understand it better than the one who's actually listening now. Sometimes. Rubba means sometimes. Hasha. Hasha ja'anil qawmu hasha zaydin. Same like illa. Except. Except not that common. Rubba and all of these are not common. 6 to 10 are not common. If anything doesn't have examples of the Quran, you did not see also. He just gave them, but min is very common, yeah. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُقِنُونَ. And those who believe with what has been revealed to you and what has been revealed before you, from you, than you. Min can also mean from, than. Min also, yeah, it shows min qablika, yani before you, kind of. Here we don't translate much. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ, and in the akhirah they are certain. Ada is also except, not that common. Jan al-qawmu ada zaydin. The people came except Zayd. Fi is very common in. وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. And in the skies is your rizq. Is rizqukum. Kum has come, no? That means your rizq, provision. And whatever has been promised. وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. عَنْ وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا تَجْزِي نَفْسٌ عَنْ نَفْسٍ شَيْئًا. And fear the day when one soul will not help the other. So an is like from or about, and ala is on. So an, min, ala, fi, and then bi. These are the common ones. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Upon the people, or towards Allah, hijjul bayt, the hajj of the house, whoever can afford it. So upon or on ala. Hatta is until. Salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. There's another hatta, so that, but here it is until. Hatta matla'i, it gets a kasra, no, because these are prepositions. Salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. Until. Udu'u ila. Ila is two was very common. Ila is also common. Hatta is common. Ala, an, min, fi. 5, 6 are common. That's all not that. Udu'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati. Call toward the way of your Lord with wisdom, and wal hikmati wal maw'idhati. And maw'idah, exhortation. Al hasana. Wajadilhum billati hiya hasan. And jadilhum, argue with them with the best way. So what is huruf jar? Words which gives kasra to the nouns, words following it. If they are clear nouns after it, that is not a pronoun, it gets a kasra. See, mundu yawmi, mudh yawmi, khala zaydin rubba. So try to memorize at least 4 or 5 of them, which are important. B is important, and ka is also important too. Wa is okay, you can understand this oath. But min, fi, ala, and ila, and hatta maybe. But if you want this thing, it's 17. If you want to memorize, fine. Ba, ta, kaf, ba, ta, kaf, lam, wa, mundu, mudkhala, rubba, hasha, min, ada, fi, anala, hatta, ila. This is the shi'r. Arabic. Ba, ta, kaf, lam, wa, mundu, mudkhala, rubba, hasha, min, ada, fi, anala, hatta, ila, shi'r. Okay, just for memorization. Conjunctions. Let's come to conjunctions, which are also very common. And there are 9 of those. 9 of those. Amma. Amma means some. قُلْ أَذَكَرَيْنِ حَرَّمَ أَمِ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. Did he make the males haram or the females? Allah make. Because they used to have this concept, males are haram or some females are haram and so on. أَمَّا اشْتَمَلَتْ عَلَيْهِ some. So amma literally means as for. And they said some. Or Yeah. As for the ones which are in the wombs of the females. So the ayah goes on. But amma generally means as for. Amma hamidun fahuwa fil bayt. And fa comes all the time. So yeah. But anyways, he says some. So you could write it down as some or as for. Imma is common also. Either or. Alu ya Musa. It comes repeat. Imma wa imma. Imma an tulqiya. Either you throw. وإما أن نكون نحن الملقين, or either we will be the ones who will throw. ملقين. إما means either or. ثم is then. Then كيف تكفرون بالله, how do you disbelieve in Allah وكنتم أمواتا, while you were dead, فأحياكم, so he gave life to you all. ثم يميتكم, then he will give you death. ثم يحييكم, then he will give you life. ثم إليه ترجعون, and to him you will return. All of you will return. أو is or in statements, or. أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق. Or like a thunder in the sky, or the cloud in the sky. فيه ظلمات, in it is darknesses and thunder and lightning. أو. Or. Hatta, you might be like, hatta has come here until. Yes. There's another hatta which means until. It comes with verbs. That means this will do until with verbs. So it comes under prepositions, but fine. It's the same meaning anyways. وَإِذْ ya Musa. And when you said, O Musa, لَن نُؤْمِنَ لَكَ, we will not believe in you حَتَّى نَرَى اللَّهَ, until we believe in Allah, or until we see Allah. Is or in questions. أَأَنْتُمْ أَشَدُّ خَلْقًا أَمِ السَّمَاءُ بَنَاهَا. Are you severe in creation, the most severe, or the skies which he built? Is or. Idhan is then, like same like thumma. Innaka idhan lamina dhalimin. Indeed, you then will be of the wrongdoers, of the oppressors. Idhan. Wow, iyaka. This is very common. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Indeed, surely we worship you only and we ask only help from you. Fa is like so, but it's like more fast, like then. Amatahu fa akhbara. He gives him death, and gives him a khabar, a grave. So a conjunction is one which combines two sentences and relate them to each other. They create a connection between both of them. So if you want to remember, amma, imma, thumma, aw, hatta, idhan wafa, like this. Amma, imma, thumma, all of this. Aw, hatta, idhan wafa. Okay. I think this is enough for today. Next class, we'll do this questions, because this is again a whole list of adawat istifham. We'll go into this, inshallah, and do some exercises, or not do, but just read through. You should do it, inshallah, but I'll just explain how to do those. A lot of exercises of all of these 9 exercises. And then we have vocabulary, some extra vocabulary he's given us. So because many people said we want to learn vocabulary and conversation and all that, so he's given all of these things, also added them later on. Inshallah, we'll read them in our next class, inshallah, and go through this book slowly, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallahu feekum, because in this half an hour itself you've learned a lot, almost a lot. Barakallahu feekum. Jazakallahu Khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.